Now this is our the next section in advanced Python multi-thread programming. Basically, this programming is very useful when we are working on same data, and if we want to pass a same data to a multiple process, then we use the multiple threaded programming. Like multiple threads within a process share the same data to the different variables in a different process is a more efficient method as compared to other methods. Sometimes this method is also called the lightweight process, and they not require much memory or let overhead. They are the cheaper than other process because it is a very light, and the same data is given to the different process. The syntax of the multi-threaded program: first importing the threading, and then starting a new thread like this. This is put a function and then arguments. Argument should also contain the keyword arguments or any other arguments. Okay, this method is very fast and efficient way, and also create a new threads in both Linux and Windows. The method calls return immediately, and the child thread start and call the function with the passed list of the arguments. Here the arguments is the tuple of the arguments. We can use an empty tuple to call the function without passing any arguments. But keyword argument is the optional directory of the keyword arguments. Okay, before we starting the programming in threading, first we write the threading module. The threading module exposes all the methods of the thread module and provide some additional methods, like the first one is a threading.active count within a parenthesis returns the number of the thread objects that are actives, and where which we working active threads. The threading.current threads, this return current threads. Threading.numerate return a list of all threads objects that are currently active. The next one is the run method. The run command is used in run method is the entry point for a thread. The second one, the start method. To start to execute a thread, calling the run method, we use a start. Join wait for the threads to terminate. If alive, one thing you should keep in mind that A capital, not small. The is alive methods check whether a thread is still executing or not, or terminated. Get name methods return the name of the thread here. Set name method sets the name of the thread. If we want to change the name of the thread, then we use this module. Okay, for the next lecture. Okay, in this lecture we will first create a threading using a function that the step one is importing module threading. Like command is this: from threading import completely. The importing thread is very important as a step one. In step two, we define the function. We use a def, put the function name here, and put the argument here, and then parentheses, then a colon here. Step 3, give the logic through which the function gets threaded. Step 4, that give the target function which going to be threaded. Like variable which holding like thread, put the target and assigning the target value. I put the function name is here. Now the step 5 for invoking. Now start for the threading, that put a variable dot start, then append a whole. Let's do one example in a Python, and we create a first thread on a Python practically. Okay, this is the next section about threading and about the multi-threading. In this tutorial, we will create a first threading using functions, and next lecture we create a thread using a function, and using a class, using a subclass, and using a superclass. We create a different threads and also multi-threads. And but in here we create a first thread using a function. And a first step, as I told in my last lectures, that import a thread from threading import thread. You should by using a star you can import completely. What to define, and a function name is if you want to display the odd number between a 0 and 100. So I import the odd number and colon here, and put a condition, put a logic here, like for initialization of by using a while loop, that while if I is a less or equal to the 100, and then print I, and I want to increment of I, and you want to increment in I as 2. So like this, because I want only the even numbers, sorry, not odd numbers. I want to even number between 0 and 100. So I put 2 here, and now we introduce that t is equals to thread, produce a first single thread, and set a target here, that you can see in here, that first target, and a function which is going to be invoked in our case, which is odd, is a function like here. This is the function name in here, which is to be invoked. And now t dot start to produce a thread. Okay, now this is our process, and I right click here to run the program, and let's run this program. And you can see that in here that it display a number between 0 to 100 and increment of 2. If I want like this is our first thread. In the next lecture we create a thread by using a superclass and using a subclass.